Hello students, today we're going to be learning how to make 3D shapes in Onshape here. This is just going to be a little bit of practice. The other day we were learning how to do sketches like this. And today we're going to learn how to take those flat 2D flat sketches or drawings and turn them into 3D objects like you see here. And we see these are planets, right? There's the sun. We're going to pretend that's Earth, and there's Saturn. Saturn's pretty nice to look at. And then we're also going to have a little fun and create some, like a little satellite or a little spaceship or something like that also. I'm going to be moving pretty fast here. So you need to be pausing the video as I go because there's going to be a lot of information. So pause and go do it and play and pause and play and pause as we do, okay? So when you first open Onshape and go create a new document here, you're going to have a view kind of like this, and we're going to want to start sketching. So we're going to click Sketch, and I want to start sketching on that front surface. And I'm going to change my view to front so it's nice to look at. It's going to help us out. And then I'm going to hide these other planes just so it looks a little less busy, and it's going to make things a little prettier for me here. So we're going to start with a nice horizontal line. This is like where all the planets and the sun are going to be hanging out on. A nice long line. That's like 12 inches long. That's really big and nice. And then we're going to make a circle, and we're going to make that the sun. The size of it, it's a good habit to learn to dimension things. So let's call this sun 3 inches in diameter. All right, and now we're going to have to make the Earth. The Earth is pretty small compared to the sun. It would probably be way small, like itty bitty, hard to even see right now. So we're just going to pretend it's this big. And then we could do a whole bunch of planets, but let's just stick with Saturn also, because Saturn looks really cool. So we'll put Saturn right there. It's got that ring on there. All right, so now we got the planets there. And you don't need to do this step, but I'm going to put this here to show you something later. So right now this part you have to do. We need to put that ring on Saturn. So let's see, the ring, it's kind of tilted if you've ever seen a photo of Saturn before. So let's put a rectangle kind of at an angle like this. That's going to represent the ring of Saturn in a second. We'll see what that looks like. And then we are going to adjust that if you want. You can play around with that, make it look like whatever you want. And we're going to have to come back to this sketch because I want to show you some things here. But let's push OK for now. We can always double click on that and come back to it. So now let's start making this 3D. So this is what we're going to use to make these planets. It's going to be called Revolve. And so if I click on that, it's going to show me in blue what it wants me to do first. Click on the sketch regions to be revolved. So what do you want to spin around to create this 3D ball or sphere? So we're going to click on this part, and then it's going to ask here in blue the revolve axis. What do you want to spin it around? So if I click here, you'll see it makes that nice sphere. That's going to be our sun. If I click on something else, you can see what happens here. Ooh, that looks really crazy because it's spinning around that line instead. That's the center axis there. You can kind of see what's going on there. And if you ever click on something you don't like, you can always come back here and push this delete. I don't want to revolve it around that. I want to revolve it around this. And let's do all the planets at once right now. So we're going to come over here and push these two also. Nice, and we got 3 spheres now, right? Those are going to be our planets. And let's see what happens if I push this ring for Saturn here. Look at that. That is not revolving around the planet. That's spinning in this other way. So we don't want to do that part of the sketch yet. We don't want that ring right now. All right, so those planets are looking pretty good, so I'm going to say okay. And everything is looking good there, but we need to come back and change something in this sketch. So this is a good thing to be Learning right now, if we ever have to come back and change something, we can double click on it. So I double clicked on that sketch and I re-entered that sketch. It's like I went back in time. You'll notice that that revolve is grayed out right now. It's like back in time, so we're going to come back and change this. So we need a line that is coming kind of at this angle so that when we spin this Saturn's ring, it will be spinning around the planet correctly. So we're just going to estimate it a little bit like that. Think of that like the north-south pole of Saturn. It needs to be, it's kind of at an angle, just like Earth's north-south pole is not perpendicular to the sun. So we're going to say now, that's the only thing we needed to add, so we're going to push OK. And that did some weird things, so we're going to have to come back here to Revolve and say we also want to select that. So if I just add that piece now, we got that whole circle there, whole sphere, and we're looking good again. So now we're going to have to do a new Revolve. We're going to have to click this again, and notice right now that we can't see our little pieces. That's hidden right there. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to now say revolve that ring around that line, and we're going to say OK, and there we got our ring. Yeah, it's a little wonky and stuff, but you know, that's fine. We're just practicing right now, having a little fun. All right, and if you want to come in and change the color of this, you can do that by saying edit appearance. If I right click on the part, that's our sun over there. You can see it highlighted the sun when I clicked on it. And you know, you probably want the sun to be some sort of yellow color or orange or something like that. So there you go. And you can come back and change the ring also and all that good stuff. That should be kind of like a brownish maybe or something like that. Anyway, have fun changing around the colors. Now let's worry about our spaceship or satellite. You only have to do one of the two, but let's try something out there. So the reason we're going to do a spaceship or a satellite is to learn how to do this other way of making a 3D object. So I'm going to hide that sketch for a second, and I'm going to try a new sketch. And again, it's asking me for what plane I want to sketch on. So here are our planes again. Let's try sketching on a different plane. Let's try sketching on this top surface now. Now you can see it's not the same surface I was sketching on before. So let's hide these again now. Hide, hide, hide. And now I'm sketching on this top surface, and we can have our fun here, right? So this can be anything you want. It could be a space alien, right? And we're just drawing some cool shapes. I'm just going to make a really quick little spaceship here, and I'm going to make the little point there in the front. Yours can be much better than this if you want. And a little rocket there. And I'm going to show you one little trick here. If you put a center line down and you want it to be the same, you can mirror by selecting mirror here, selecting the mirror line, and then selecting the entities to be mirrored. And boom, you got a rocket. And you can doctor that up, put some flames on it, whatever you like here. And this is going to be our rocket. So next we are going to create this rocket into something 3D. So once you're happy with your rocket, we're going to extrude it. And it's going to select, this is the extrude button here. It says select the sketches and regions to be extruded. So we want to come through here and click on all the pieces we want to turn into that. And you'll see what extrude does. It kind of like pulls it up into a kind of a prism shape. So that means like, think of like Play-Doh being squeezed out of something, right? And you can play around with that. And if you extrude it once, you can also come back and extrude it again. If I come back and you want a different part to be looking different or something like that, You can say, oh, these parts, I want them to be actually a little lower over here, or higher, or whatever you want. You can play around with that. And we're just practicing using these tools here. So we're just using Extrude and Revolve. These other ones, a little more complex. Don't worry about those yet. All right? So I know I just gave you a lot of information in that video, but we are just playing around. If you get done early, you are welcome to keep designing and playing around and make more planets, make more spaceships, make more aliens, whatever you want, some shooting stars, all that good stuff. Have fun. I'll see you soon.